Thank
Congratulations
you.
on the GMAT 695. So 100 percentile in Quant, verbal 82%, 82 score, 76 percentile, and data insight 89 percentile, 81. Wonderful. First of all, like big congratulations, not just from me, from the entire top 1%. And of course, Sandeep sir is
Thank you.
extremely, extremely proud of you.
Thank
But and also you come from a very, the reason why I was looking forward is your background. You already have an MBA from IMC. So
you. Yeah.
please tell me about yourself. Tell me how did this entire journey for GMAT and another MBA begin?
So yes, so after my MBA from IIM Calcutta, I was working with Flipkart for more than 2.5 years. Later, I just had a thought of doing something apart from here, doing it here, because I understood the business that's running here, and I
Right,
always had this fascination to go out and do something apart from my own, what I could say, my comfort zone.
right,
So that is my next step. And I was thinking of that. I tried to, and I once I quit Flipkart more than a year back. So I tried to figure out something on my own. So I tried to get into my family business. I had a journey for myself. And then I figured out why don't I do another MBA? I'll try to explore myself. And prior to that, in IIM Calcutta, I did my MBA I did my majors in marketing, sales and marketing, and strategy. But
right,
during that time, I didn't have this into to get into fin
right,
and post working over the years of working and trying to understand a business apart from the execution point. That's what we do as managers in
right,
all the corporates. I like to understand more than that. So that is my push towards getting into GMAT first of all.
right,
And after I get into GMAT, so I was looking into a lot of people for coaching, and then I met Sandeep in one of those introductory classes. I was
right,
really happy with the way he taught, because I am a guy who cleared CAT and I'm good at quant. I know that, but even in my CAT, I wasn't so well great in verbal, and I
right,
know GMAT is a verbal heavy,
right,
a verbal heavy examination. So I was trying to understand what Sandeep was telling and trying to understand his basics. So all of course, what I understood in the overall, because as I've already cleared an exam, which is CAT, I know there should be a lot of effort that should be put into it. But with respect to quant, what I've achieved, which is something I've already done in the previous exam, so it was a easy cakewalk for me for GMAT. All I was supposed to do was study for verbal and data insights, which is quite a bit similar to what I've studied earlier. And Sandeep's strategy towards clearing verbal, for example, the CR questions, the way we read RCs was completely different from what is being taught by Sandeep. I used to do it in a different manner earlier. I just don't have any strategies as of now. Earlier, I used to just read, I go to the answers, my judgments used to be right, and that's how I cleared it. But with respect to Sandeep, there was a lot of tricks, there was a lot of methodologies, there was a lot of different options as to how to clear it. And even during my examinations, my last RC was very difficult.
okay,
Yet I was trying to understand that RC, but that's when I came out of the comfort zone, trying to utilize what Sandeep was trying to tell, and I used it. Of course, I practiced those kind of RCs after getting into his. I'm looking into his sessions. That was, I mean, well utilized during my last RC. So I was just
right,
skimming through the passage. I was getting into the questions. I was not trying to understand, but trying to use the right keywords to get the answers right, and of course the tone of the passage. I mean, that helped me a lot to clear verbal.
right,
So it was a great journey. It took at least, I think, 2.5 months. This is my third attempt.
uh,
So the first attempt, I just gave it just like that. I didn't go anywhere, I just gave it, so I don't consider this. So the last two attempts, first attempt, I mean, after getting into TOP and getting to know this, my first attempt was 655.
right,
So with not much of a prior practice, I just made a month of practice and then I gave it. And then I sat for at least a month, I think, so for verbal. So I scored even 100 percentile by then in quant.
uh,
So
okay,
quant was always the right thing to do.
right,
And data, the ones I was lacking is where those two-part analysis come,
right,
which is also the verbal derivative of that verbal. I mean, data, that part of the data segment. That is what I was lacking also. So pushing a little bit in myself into it and trying to do that by practice. It's all, I would say it's all practice. The more you practice, the more you understand all these things, and more you try to use his ideas and things. That helped a lot not to clear. I mean, that's what made me push that last bit of boundary. But in my in my mocks, I used to score more than 700. But this, according to me, was not a great score to what I thought would be the score. But yes, right now, I've given this. This is my score. But I would like to do another one
You
and hit 100.
seal
That
the
is what
deal.
my yeah. That is that will be my heel, because those efforts that we have put, there should be some reward to it. But this is a reward, of course, but not what I've expected. That is the overall thing, Natasha. Yeah,
So you
yeah.
did mention about the fact that you came out of your you had to come out of your comfort zone. So a little deeper into it, what does that mean? Like, how did you structure your preparation? How did you approach that verbal section, which is what you said was slightly more difficult or challenging? And how did you approach it differently? What did it mean to coming out of the comfort zone for you? What was more challenging when Sandeep sir said, "Don't do this, do this"? Just if you can recall and
So
probably take it.
yeah, understood. Thing with myself was I already had this thing that I've already cleared cut. So I understand I have a methodology for myself. That's the ego I had it within me.
Right.
And that didn't work well with GMAT because it was a different kind of a passage, different kind of an experience. We didn't have CR and CAT. We have
Right.
only RCs. We have so majorly RCs, and we have few other sections for jumbled and stuff. So me coming out of my already successful strategy that worked in another exam, and like completely washing it out and putting a different structure into the mind, because that is more like a complete like you are good at something, that's what you thought, but this is not the same thing for this exam. Trying to have that shift, not to erase what I mean, unlearn what you have like done and learn it in a different way. That
Right.
took me some time. that
Sometimes.
was that was that was the thing that I'm talking about, out of my comfort zone. I
Right.
was
So
thinking
a
myself
lot of
something that,
people do come
yeah.
with the same notion,
Mhm.
saying because it
Mhm.
is verbal, because it is quant, it should be same. Okay, you tell me that the GMAT exam test you differently, CAT exam test you differently, but the content are the same. You tell me how different was it? Even though content was the same, how different was it to approach these? Because we do
See,
tell
yes.
from Sandeep sir
Uh-huh.
as a like a test taker's perspective, but
Yeah.
test maker's perspective rather. As a test
Yeah.
taker, what would you say?
Yes. So how different in the sense, in my previous experience, I do have a choice to choose questions, but with GMAT, it was a different process. You have to attend that question that's there in your screen, and that
Right,
was a completely different scenario. And there is a difficulty per se in each and
right,
every question. You find increasing difficulty questions. So those things when put into that was a test taker's difference, according to me. But
right,
when it comes to taking up strategies, for example, I didn't even believe earlier that not there is not a reason to understand uh, my method, and that's what used to be there. But once Sandeep was there, that was different. It was not what GMAT was, what I thought was. So because I took a a test, an attempt, by knowing
yeah,
what I thought
correct.
might be the right way to do it. And that shooted right back on my face, like it's not the right way. So I thought, and then I understood. So there is a reason all these structures are there, and there is a reason Sandeep as a person, as a guide, is telling you this. So it's not like you can do this. Okay, there is a reason we have to follow this and not to get it. So right from getting that rule to over here, trying to have this through practice, learning through practice, and getting that right answers, once you have this confidence and then getting into it, was different. It was more than different, I would say. It is a great experience. It was
It
nice to know that after doing this, it was nice to know
cost you
this.
one exam to kind of come back to doing the routine that sir
Yeah,
has
that's fine,
been.
that's fine.
So how many
That was
hours?
happily.
Yeah, given
Uh-huh.
that you have a very very busy schedule at I think by this time were you still at Flipkart or were you at your
No, no. So the last 7 months, I'm part of the family business. I quit Flipkart. That's the reason. So I want to do something more than working here in corporate. That was the main thing. So
right?
post that, I went into my family business,
Okay.
relocated all everywhere. And
Right.
then over here, I thought I want to manage that, because once I get into my business, it is a different sake. There is no timeline. At least in corporate, you have a 9 to 10, 10 hours of job, 10 or 12 hours. Over here, this is non-stop. I
Not
should find time for myself. So
correct.
I think a solid, right preparation. What I could say. the effective prep of per hour 3 to 4 hours maximum, according to me, for verbal is what I've taken. So 4 to 5 hours effective prep. I'll take it in the night, I'll take it in the early in the morning, between gaps, between breaks, whenever I have, I'll go through all these passages and go through all these questions. I think in a day, when it came to the last 10-15 days, I think in a day I did solid 80 questions.
Right.
I went through, I mean, at least passage wise, I would have done 10 passages and some 50-60 questions in CRs. I would do.
Was there any specific resources and content? Maybe it is a mock portal, or maybe it is Sandeep sir's video session that kind of really stood out at a time where you felt stuck in any of this section. If you would like to just talk about any of the resources.
Yes. So my major pick would be RC. More, I mean, C, as I understood, there is a logic to, there is a way to look into those questions. There is a separate, I would say, there is a particular strategy for each and every types of CS where we can go, we learn, we do it. So that was a different thing for me to start with, because I never did CR earlier in my life, so it was easy. But with respect to RCs, that strategy, octave strategy, really helped a lot, because that gave a different perspective. When you read into a passage, you will try to understand who's talking. So
Right.
that was my first step towards what I understood, like how to deal with it. Who's talking? Somebody's talking to you. That's what I think when I read a passage. As an author, somebody's telling me. So what is he telling? Is he telling himself, or is he stating somebody else, or is he stating a fact that you could find in a Wikipedia, or in an internet? So these are the three facts I went on to understand. So if it is his opinion that comes up, at start I did sentence by sentence, trying to understand what was the motive behind why is he telling that. So whether he's telling something just because it is an opinion, or because it's a fact, because he's telling somebody else is telling it. So that comes in your back of your mind, each and every sentence, trying to understand that. And once you understand that, then you'll try to segregate what is the author's motive, what is the author's tone, why is he telling this, what is his actual thing. So once I try to understand those with those RC passages that are a little easier for me to read. I didn't go for the ones which are really hard, but ones which are really fine reading. Okay, so those things help me understand these are the kind of structures GMAT is dealing with. And once I understood those structures, the tonality and everything that Sandeep mentioned was coming into place. Everything, it was all bits and pieces in my mind. Once I started doing this, it all segregated to me, according to me. And once it is all done, everything made sense. And then I went on with the hard ones, trying to understand those, crack those without understanding meaning also. And I didn't, for a few of the passages, I wouldn't even try to understand what is there in the passage. All I need to understand is this is a particular set of question. This is what they're trying to tell me. I'll skim through the passage. I'll see where is a negative tone or a positive tone, where is a neutral tone, where is somewhere, someplace author is trying to tell me. And that gave me a good accuracy too. For example, in my RCs, out of my 12 questions, I made 8 right. So last RCs, I had a 50% right or wrong. So out of 4 questions, I did 2 wrong, and the time span of 3 to 4 minutes, which is a great thing. At the last minute, you try to do, so which is good. So I find myself not a fast reader where I can do this like easily, but it helped me. These are things that you would be able to reach out to a point. And according to me, all these hard, tough to find meaning RCs will have a right structure in GMAT. That you could find some 7-8 structures in GMAT as to whether author finds with tells about somebody else or the majority of the notion, and he negates that, tries to tell that. Though it will be hard to understand those, you will find the structure over the passage, and where this octave structure will be easier to implement, and that helped a lot. Yes.
Right. Right. So this awareness really came into being from each passage. But on another level, did you also try to kind of look at maybe newspapers or any articles and try to get the opinion during this phase preparation? You were consciously making that effort.
Yes, I agreed. So I looked into the awareness sessions. I would not say every awareness sessions, but starting 4 to 5 sessions, I've seen all the videos of Sandeep, and that helped a lot, because you try to understand what kind of passage and concepts GMAT deals with. So you'll have a rough idea in your back. So maybe this is the kind of motive. What is the kind of motive these guys are dealing with? Why is it happening? And you would also know what kind of history and culture, these guys are also want to showcase in each and every argument. So what I understood from Sandeep was it is more like a capitalist, more like capitalist pro, more than being rather being a socialist pro argument. Apart from one RC passage that always Sandeep tells, but apart from that, everything was quite a bit in a right. I mean, your mind, it'll open up your mindset. It'll try to make you sit and see this is the kind of things that you will be dealing with, the concepts that you'll be dealing with. That helped. And one more thing of Sandeep's video itself, I noticed him telling that if you're not able to understand a passage, the best way to know about a passage is to go back to any net or internet after reading a passage, try to understand each and every situations in it. So if you're not able to understand what is the history of America or economics or any of that sort, if you're not able to understand through that passage, go back to internet or CC, browse it through for the passage, try to understand. If you do that through all his materials, you'll be able to get a overall context as to what we are dealing with. So
Right.
that will give you a rough idea, and it also helped me a lot. I would say that helped a lot. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So on to your exam day experience, and just a few days prior to your exam day, this is like the attempt that you have had right now, right? What has been, how did you stay focused? What are the different, how many tests did you taken? What was your last mock score before the test day? And how was the entire exam day experience? You can just
Yeah.
walk us through that.
So my last mock score was the last. I mean, I took it 3 days prior to the test day.
Right.
It was 7-1, and I was happy with it. I'll say I'll be able to crack it. So earlier to that mocks, so I had a lot of trial runs as to what kind of strategy should I be using to choose the sections. What kind of an order should I choose? So at first I was choosing I thought verbal might be a difficult task. I'll go with a fresh mind, try to crack verbal. And then I try to understand data was also more painful section. And at first I thought verbal, data and quant, because at the end of the last section, quant any day I'll do. Even in my sleep, I can do happily quant. I won't find my brain to be boiled when I do quant. So, but that's why I thought when I'm fresh enough, I'll do other two sections and I'll then come back to quant. And it helped with quant. But with the other two sections, I wasn't able to push it up higher. And
Right.
then I realized I thought data might be an even more difficult thing to crack. And if I crack data in the first section itself, I'll be a little bit I mean,
Relax.
not so nervous. I'll be a little bit relaxed after doing data. So I thought I'll go with data first, quant next, because it is of the same sort. Data and quant will be overlapping in most of the cases. So I thought do that first and save verbal for last. Take a break for 10 minutes, refreshen up, have a coffee, then go for verbal. It will be a relaxed day. That's what I felt, it more relaxing, and it felt nice for me not to crack GMAT. So, and then once I did that order, once I find out myself what I'm comfortable with, and then my scores got increased. And then I went on to take a final exam, that what we
Right.
are looking at, right?
Right.
So yes, but I believe 2 days prior to exam, don't take any exam. Don't take any mock test. I mean, what you've done is fine. Do the basics for the last 2 days. Try to understand all the basics that's been. I mean, what you've written as notes or anything else. Go through that, and once you're done with that, maybe go for a movie. I watched a movie the day before the night just to calm yourself.
Right.
In the morning, I usually read newspapers and articles every day morning. I read those, so I'll do that for just myself. I did a Sudoku in the morning and then left for the exam. That's it.
Right. So what happened in the
Yeah.
exam? Because then you did something unexpected happen? Because then you mentioned you want to retake. So if you look back, what is that one or two
Mm.
things that you would have done differently, so that the score would have improved?
Improved. I would say I was a little confident with data sufficiency. Overconfident, not just confident, overconfident.
Okay.
So data sufficiencies, I generally get an 8 out of 8, like in data. So, but I was a little overconfident for the last 1-2 weeks that I didn't even touch data like I do quant. I never prepared for quant over this time.
Right.
What the score I'm getting is all through mocks. I did mocks. I didn't prepare anything as a material, but I did went through Sandeep's algebra once
Right.
just to understand those mod kind of questions. Just I went through those. And apart from that, I didn't do much of quant practice. All I did was mock. Similar thing with DS, but even DS is a little new, and I mean it's something not so. I won't say not so difficult, but it's a little new, a new pattern for me. But I went through that. I did all, but I didn't revise much. I didn't give it a much of a damn. But at the end of the day, that happened really. I mean, I should have given the last 2 days at least. I should have gone through, did some DS questions that would have done better. I mean, if that was done, my 2, 3 questions would have gone right, and maybe at least two would have gone right. That would have improved the score more than 700 at least. So yes, that was one thing I was a little overconfident about. And yes, DS data insights is something that I thought I might have done a little better, because graphs and tables I should have done better. I did all those verbal parts right. To my surprise, whatever all those data parts, I was a little bit on the day which I thought was my strength. I did it a little bit. I mean, not to the way I thought I would done.
Okay.
Yes, though it was easier. I thought it was a lot easier when I was looking into these questions, but I don't know what happened. I should have done that. If I had done that right, maybe yes, I would have
So
scored well.
we could say that there was still some scope of preparation and practice that was still there before the exam. And that is why you are considering. So, what would be your last piece of advice for students who are preparing or who are going to be giving the GMAT or who's just starting out, so that they let's say if you have now 3 attempts, two to three attempts that you said, and let's put it all together, and if they have to give it in one attempt and in during let's say 3 or 4 months time, what would be your advice that you would like to share?
Yeah. So first thing is, during your preparation, starts with preparations. With preparation, I did a mistake of burning myself in a single section completely. So I would say take your time. So decide what amount of time that you have for the day. Divide it across all 3 sections or whatever sections you're, I mean, having. For me, I would say I didn't. I did. I'm a kind of person. If I want to do verbal, I'll do verbal for 5 days, 5 to 7 days. Do all these questions. I don't do anything. But once I thought, but I'll be lagging in DI. Once I start DI for the next week, one complete week, I'll be a little bit not in the right place of what I would have done in verbal a week back.
Right.
So that was it. So once I got that, I thought you should have equal amount of time in a day or between 2 days to have the right amount in each and every sections. So don't think that you should master one section and do it completely for 2, 3 days. It's fine. You can't master 100 questions in a single day. So you should take 50 or 25, 30 a day, and you should give for other sections too. So you should mix and match all and try to do that. That would help in an overall, I mean, in a consistent point. So you should do that consistently, have a sincere prep, but at the same time, divide it across a day and try to do it and master it at the same time. So that will help in a overall basis. Yeah, that's what I think.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so much for sharing these insights. Really, excited for the. I mean, even if you get a good score, you do have a great profile. Really excited for the next chapter where you'd
Yeah.
go. What are your thoughts? Where do you intend to apply to schools? What
Yeah.
schools you're targeting?
Yeah, so I thought I would score higher, but still, my intent, I already have a degree from IIM Cal, so I just want to get into the top fives, Wharton, Harvard, and even if it takes more effort to get a high score, maybe I'll take another 20 days in order to give another attempt. But yes, that is my only hope: get into the top 3 or 4, and I
In
don't
the
want to settle
US
for anything less
location,
than
is
that.
there? You're looking to apply in the
Yes,
US,
yes, yes, of course.
only US.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Wharton, Stanford, Harvard.
yeah. The big
These three are
five.
the only major things that happened in my mind. Because even in CAT, the year prior to what I've joined, so I got all calls apart from ABNC,
Right.
Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata. But I didn't want to settle anything less than ABNC. I took another year. I gave another CAT. I took the same percentile. I got all calls, but I was able to clear Calcutta. But still, I was fine. I was able to get what I wanted, and
Right.
this is what the same thing goes for me. I'm not
This
changing
time we will
anything.
join the force of manifestation that it happens to you, because this is really heartwarming if it does. And any help that you need from Top 1%, from Authority, admission per se, right? Because then he's also, he studied in Kolkata as well, and then he did
Acha.
his LBS. So he's going to give you whatever insight that is required to help you carve your profile towards that, right? 695 is a great score to apply to these schools, but again, one opinion from him would also make a difference. Do get in touch with him. Again, extremely
Yes,
proud. Let's stay connected. I would be very happy to see you make a progress. It
sure.
really feels we feel happy when you make that progress as well. Thank you so much for choosing
Thank you.
Top 1% and Sandeep sir
Thank you.
through this journey. All the very best.
Thank you.
Good luck. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, Natasha. Thanks to Sandeep. Yeah, thanks to TOP team. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.